Whether you're thinking about hope or thinking about a being that's a poster boy of power, you think of Superman partly, right? He's a being with crazy power and heat vision that can obliterate a planet. He has the raw speed and striking power and everything put together to split planets or moons down the middle with his striking force, or just straight up drag planets. So you know he's strong. But the scary part about him is that we've seen him increase his power by jumping in the sun itself. They call it sun dipping, because he gets his power from the sun. If he jumps directly in the sun or is in close proximity with the sun, he can increase his strength, speed, and everything, and all his other abilities, and just multiply his abilities that way based on how long he stays in it. But what if I told you there was a Superman that just was chilling in the sun for 100 centuries? Yes, you hear that right. This is during the post-crisis era. It stated here, DC1 Million, in the 853rd century, exactly 1 million months after the dawn of superheroes, humanity prospers in a utopian society beyond our imagining. The great tradition of superheroes lives on. Time travel stuff. Thanks to journeying back to the late 20th century, these heroes of the future invite their ancient predecessors, the Justice League of America, to attend a wonderful celebration of their heroic legacy. Yeah, and he has his own Superman dynasty in the future. Yeah, very good legacy. Superman Prime's descendant ends up getting with a 5-dimensional imp or being and ends up getting a super imp 5-dimensional Superman being. You know what? Let me stop. I find it interesting that Prime 1 million is actually vulnerable to kryptonite. Even though this is a lot of kryptonite and centuries worth of kryptonite, I find it weird that he's affected by it and had to be healed, of course, outside help to become back to full strength. When an alternate reality kingdom comes Superman, who is shown signs of aging thanks to his long exposures to sunlight compared to other Kryptonians. Kryptonite, he's extremely resistant to kryptonite, even though he technically shouldn't be nowhere near Prime 1 Million's level, but whatever. Different writers, what can you do? He technically shouldn't be hurt by kryptonite really being Prime 1 Million, but that's none of my business. Like, this is the kind of future Prime 1 Million is from. Like, look how everything looks in this possible future. How the different league members look in the far future. You probably wonder which Superman they're talking about. Well, it states here, he's alive in this century, in the sun. Brett is just soaking in the sun. His fortress is in the sun itself, stated to be in the center of the sun. But to get an idea of which Superman they're talking about is to look at when this story DC1 Million was published. See, when I go to DC.com, they pretty much give you the date of this type of stuff, so you can know which Superman they're actually talking about. It was an event during 1999, during the post-crisis era, before the New 52 and the Rebirth stuff. You can even get an idea of when this took place in the very comic, DC1 Million, when they explained the current time of when this comic was out. They talk about here, for example, that the Earth is safe for the moment in 1998, letting you know it really was in 1998. So this is definitely future, post-crisis Superman, possible future, if that makes sense. So that makes my job easier, makes our job easier analyzing them so we can figure out which Superman we're talking about. We're talking about this one, not pre-crisis. Like, so you can get an idea of a possible future of this Superman's strength would be like if he actually stayed in the sun. This is intriguing because whatever he can do in his base state, his sun dip self can do better. And that should apply on steroids when he's Superman Prime 1 Million, the gold in him in the far, far future. It's obvious he can do the standard stuff like other Superman can do, like fly, and it appears he has standard gear like a Green Lantern ring on top of his power while being super enhanced in Sun Dip. So basically one could say, along with being golden, he can also make Green Lantern constructs on top of all this power he already got. He technically knows how to bestow power. He would grant them powers far beyond any held by any metahuman ever. So he has power bestowal because of the power gleaned from the very edge of time and space. To help out the other Superman in the dynasty, of course, because there's a lot of different Superman now, way in the future, descendants and stuff. So it doesn't take rocket science to know, just like his younger self, older golden Superman, him not even being sun dipped can move the entire planet, push it out of orbit. Along with other powerhouses, he's helpful in moving planets in his base form. So sun dipped him can do even more because he's significantly amplified, being able to pull the moon in his base, along with others helping, and being able to pull the freaking Earth with his strength and base. Since his base state can pull moons and Earth, his sun-dipped prime self could definitely move a planet like the moon or the Earth both at the same time. I don't want to spend too much time on this. You already know how base Superman can destroy small planets in general with his punches that devastate a nice chunk of the moon on more than one occasion, having the raw punching power to split moons. This stuff is just light work stuff. Another good way to understand his might is to compare him to other Supermen. For example, like All-Star Superman, you remember him, right? Whatever All-Star Superman could do, its implications that Golden Superman or Prime 1 Million can do better, because these two get in a scuffle, right? There's implications that this him is from the future, way in the future, and he's stronger than him, Superman right now, All-Star Superman. Stated here, I'm faster, stronger. able to leap from world to world in a single bound. He's telepathic. You can't resist him. His solar powers in their infancy. You're not as strong, as smart, or as fast as you will be. And this version of him is this strong. He's not even stronger than Superman Prime 1 Million. Heck, I don't want to speculate, but it's confirmed he is the leader of this Superman squad. Superman Prime 1 Million pops up. Your opinions are more than welcome. Do you think Superman Prime 1 Million is stronger than the 5-dimensional descended Superman character? What do you think the limits are of the 5-dimensional Superman character? I don't want to assume Prime 1 Million has reality warping powers or can just beat him to a pulp just because he's under him or whatever. But I think we can assume that Prime 1 Million is above this Superman right here, though, right? When it comes to raw strength and things like that as the leader, right? In turn, being stronger than All-Star Superman, right? Somebody that can lift 200 quintillion tons on one arm. I know this is just a statement, but considering all the stuff we always see Superman do, them stating he can crack the earth in half definitely makes sense. It makes sense for Prime 1 Million to be able to do stuff like this as well. Since we know it's literally just him but better, been in the sun long, we know his older or prime self, golden self, can do similar or tremble more planets. Saying he can destroy one planet is actually disrespectful. When we know base Superman, without being sun dipped, can contain a literal black hole in his hand. Like, just think about this for a second. His forearm or grip strength is this strong, not counting his chest muscles and things like that. Just his grip strength contains something that was going to actually wipe out the solar system. So we know Prime can do more when it comes to strength if his base self's grip strength can contain something that was going to destroy a solar system. Just to give you some perspective and idea of his might, one can say you can look at how other people view him. Beings like Kyle Rayner, keep in mind, is pretty strong in his own right, for example. He explained it like this guy had circumnavigated the universe, wrestled evil gods, fought battles we can't even imagine, even to his standards. Some things you can't put into words. Keep in mind that Kyle Rayner, a lantern that's powerful enough. This is a super powerful lantern. Remember, Green Lantern Kyle is strong enough to contain supernova explosions. Just to give you some understanding on his might, it's literally stated here, the sun blowing up. I mean, technically, since Superman has a Green Lantern ring, couldn't he just make his giant construct hand too? If he was in the situation a little bit earlier to make a giant hand around the sun or star itself too? A lantern that can contain something that has destructive energy of entire galaxies. The Imperious Probe, in this example, a lantern like Kyle has power to contain this type of power with his ring and such. And he implied that Prime 1 Million is beyond what he could imagine, apparently. Meaning when it comes to raw power, multiple galaxies worth of destructive force shouldn't be nothing for somebody like Prime 1 Million when it comes to how much power he can put out, whether with his blast or his punching power in general, his power in general. This should be cake, technically. I mean, couldn't technically Prime 1 Million do something similar by making a giant Green Lantern construct to contain multi-galaxies worth of destructive power from exploding if he had to, with his lantern ring as well too? You know, but that's none of my business. If you read enough DC Comics, you'll know Superman tier beings, even Superman himself, like, can break Green Lantern constructs. Like we've seen on this occasion, Doomsday breaking Green Lantern constructs. You're probably thinking, oh, it's just some random Green Lantern. Well, just think about it. They always break Green Lantern constructs, even if they're not random ones. And we know Doomsday has the raw power to break out of such constructs. I'd already showed you that Green Lantern constructs by top tiers can contain multi-galactic busting levels of raw energy. And we know Superman himself in his base state can punch through Green Lantern constructs from top tiers. So can Doomsday. So when you see Prime block attacks from a Doomsday, you know, when Doomsday had this outfit on, this kind of makes sense with his lore. If his base self can stalemate Doomsday, it makes sense for his Prime 1 Million self to be able to block his hit. A good way to understand his might is to check out my other Superman videos on the channel to see how Superman is normally in his base state, and then watch this one on top of that so you can really get an understanding of what his might truly is. There's no need to repeat every single one of those feats already that base Superman has done in this one. You gotta get the idea. But what are his limits? It's one of those things, there's no exact math to this kind of crap. He literally has hardly no appearances in this form or possible future state like this. But when it comes to his limits, I would say he's definitely stronger than your average Superman over here on the left, but he's not necessarily up there with the higher end cosmic beings, I would say, especially with the limited screen time. He's still ridiculously strong, though, but I wouldn't necessarily say he's up there with the cosmic beings. Because I got a video about this character too. Raven, when she was in her unkindness, possible future, temporary powered up state, she was extremely overpowered. She was tearing apart the multiverse, tearing up different timelines, about to destroy the entire multiverse, even in places that exist outside of time. And her minions was able to overpower this golden powered Superman. So even with the ring and stuff, it kind of shows his limitations that he can't beat the top of the food chain type of cosmic beings. If he can't even beat the minions, body and will broken. He had a Green Lantern ring too, and he broke this. But everybody, that's just about going to do it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Respect Superman Prime 1 Million. It's a lot of speculation about him, but he still should be respected because he should be able to do whatever post-crisis can do, but better, if that makes sense. But I wouldn't necessarily say he's up there with cosmic beings either, though. But before I get going, everybody, I gotta say thanks for the donations. Respect them. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys later.